Hello again, everyone. Welcome back. Well, today I'm reviewing one of welcome back. Well, today I'm reviewing one of Drawl Estate's new revamped cigars. Today's selection is, the original is one of my favorites. This is the Herrera Esteli Miami. Now, this cigar is a revamped version of the Herrera Esteli Miami, which has been around forever. As a matter of fact, I look back, I reviewed the original way back in November of 2016 and got a score of 94. Back then, there was one size in this cigar, 5 3/4 by 48. That was the size. Nowadays, they have changed it, and it actually comes in 5 sizes. They even have a Robusto, 5 by 50. Today's selection is the Toro Especial, is actually the name, 6 by 52. Comes in a Lonsdale, 6.5 by 44. A Pyramid Fino, 6.5 by 54. And a short Corona, 5 3/4 by 48. Let's see, the smallest ring I see is the Lonsdale, 6.5 by 44. I'd be curious about that one. Those smaller rings really bring out some flavors. Now, just to give you a little background on this information on this cigar. This cigar is made in the El Titan de Bronze factory on Calle Ocho in Little Havana, Miami. Crafted by Level 9 Cuban rollers. It features a Ecuadorian Habano Oscuro wrapper, Ecuadorian Sumatran binder, and select fillers from the Dominican Republic and Nicaragua. The new look of the Herrera Esteli Miami features a black and gold color tone. Voila. So that should get us where we need to say. Let's get right to it. The new Herrera Esteli Miami Toro Especial. I'm noticing this cigar has a really pretty good feel in the hand. We didn't do the density. Somebody should have reminded me. All right, there we go. There's your density. Now, basically, this is the same band, only instead of red and gold, it's black and gold. But it does show that it's different. Very good, might I say. Excellent draw. And you can see not a whole lot was taken off. You can still see some of the cap rings. All right. Well, one thing you're going to notice right off the bat is how much black pepper there is. There is a lot. I would put it at 8 to 8.5. Initially, at least. Now, got a very nice cedar, nutmeg, a lot of cinnamon. I remember that from the original Herrera Esteli. There's a lot of cinnamon in this cigar, and I don't know if it's the same blend. We're going to talk about that. Brown sugar. Nice black coffee base. Seems to be the beginnings of possibly some caramel in the mix, but it is very early and probably most people won't even notice it at this point. See how it develops. We'll see how it develops. It could just be brown sugar fooling me. But that's how we start. I wouldn't call it citrus. I'd call it a cedar. But there's still a lot of nutmeg there. So
It does remind me of the original. So let's see how much it reminds me as we go forth. This cigar is different from the original. It's not as sweet. There's still the cedar, lots of nutmeg, touch of brown sugar, lots of cinnamon. I'm not convinced there's the development of caramel yet. Black coffee base, lots of nutmeg, and it makes the coffee taste earthy, but it's the nutmeg that's so earthy. Black pepper remains still good. It has toned down. It's more like between 7 and 7.5 now. The finish is a lot of coffee and nutmeg. That's about it. Nice lingering black pepper. Medium bodied, going to be leaning toward medium to full, I'm sure. But it's not the same animal. This is a different blend, possibly because it's a bigger ring, maybe. But I'm starting off the first third at 92. It has potential to move up. But at this point, it's a 92. So let's just see what the second third brings. Finish with the second third, folks. And the cigar, for a brief moment, maybe at the midpoint, I don't know, the sweetness went up. And I was like, okay, here we go. And then it came back right where it was. The flavors are just the same. Heavy on the nutmeg. You're going to notice that. It's a lot of nutmeg in this cigar. Cedar, all the points and notes I've described. Flavors really hadn't changed. The sweetness changed for a moment. But that's all. So I'm holding the score at 92 for the second third. I was optimistic there for a moment. And some people will say, well, you can't compare this to the original. That's not fair. Why not? Who says you can't? This is not as good as the original. There, I said it. But, asterisk, it may be the larger ring size, taking away some of the sweetness. I don't know. I'll have to try the smaller rings to find out. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. I don't know. Those of you who've had it in a smaller ring might enlighten me on that. The finish has less coffee on it, some semblance of residue of brown sugar and nutmeg. So that is, I told you it felt good in the hand. Remember? That sounds funny. But the weight of the cigar led me to believe we'd have a nice burn time, and we do. We're in excess of an hour and 15 minutes at this point, and we still have that much to go. So let's see what we have when we take that last third. Well, we're down to the end, so let's wrap it up. Really, nothing changed in the final third, significantly enough to make any difference in anything. The cigar is right there on the edge with me. It's good, and I like it. And, don't be so jaded to think that a 92 is a bad score. It's a good cigar, but it just doesn't rise to the level I was hoping it would. But final third, I'm maintaining 92. So, it's a 92. Overall score, 92. Now, I do wonder if a different ring gauge might help it, because the original from 3 years ago was smaller, and that may make a difference. Could be a different blend slightly, because there's only so many leaves out there, for that particular blend. But it's a good cigar, um, but just not as good as the original, in my opinion. So there you have it, the new Herrera Esteli Miami Toro Especial 92.